Yeah, but so there's still, I mean, it's crazy too because there's still more happening in court. Like, I mean, everything is still active even though we're not hearing about it as much anymore. And the people may be fatigued like we talked about prior to.
Tony Rock was my man. This is probably irreparable.
The FBI has reportedly turned up the heat on one of Hollywood's most talked about couples, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, as part of its wider investigation into Sean Diddy Combs. And let's just say, things are looking far from glamorous for the Smith family. With rumors swirling about their alleged ties to Diddy's controversial lifestyle, insiders claim the pressure is mounting behind the scenes. While Diddy's legal troubles dominate headlines, the Smiths now find themselves dragged into the storm, and the fallout is starting to get messy. The question on everyone's lips, how deep does their connection to Diddy really go?
What prosecutors were arguing is not only does your client pose a flight risk, because obviously he's incredibly wealthy, has access to planes and a lot of staff, even though you said he turned over his passport to you months ago, they were also worried about him being able to interfere with witnesses and calling them.
For years, Diddy's wild and extravagant parties were whispered about in Hollywood circles, but the full extent of what went down behind closed doors is only now coming to light. With Diddy facing accusations of orchestrating bizarre private events and engaging in schemes that allegedly exploited and manipulated those in his orbit, it's no surprise that the FBI's investigation has widened its scope, and it seems the Smiths may have been caught in the crossfire. Sources close to the investigation suggest that the FBI has obtained evidence linking the couple to some of Diddy's infamous gatherings, and while it's unclear what role they may have played, the implications are huge. The Smiths have always been open about their unconventional marriage, but this time the stakes are far higher than public curiosity. Rumors suggest that Jada, known for her candidness on her Red Table Talk series, is now considering cooperating with investigators to protect herself from potential fallout. Whispers from insiders claim that she might even be willing to spill secrets about Diddy and his network in exchange for leniency. But here's the twist: Will Smith reportedly wants no part of it. Those close to the actor believe he's torn between loyalty to Diddy as an old friend and the fear of what speaking out could mean for his own reputation. This tension is said to be driving a wedge between Will and Jada, with some speculating that their already fragile relationship might not survive the chaos.
Prior to Jada, him and Jada having a relationship, I felt Will was pretty much almost an angelic person.
Adding another layer to the drama are rumors that Jada is plotting to officially separate from Will, not just emotionally but legally. A divorce, sources say, could be her way of distancing herself from the scandal and preserving her public image. But here's the catch: the FBI isn't likely to be swayed by a piece of paper. If there's evidence tying Jada to anything incriminating, no amount of damage control can shield her. And let's not forget, Jada has made it clear in past interviews that she and Will have been living separate lives for years. While they've maintained a united front for their family's sake, this latest drama might be the final nail in the coffin.
It's a situation that I consider private.
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's business.
Yeah.
But now Black Twitter has claimed it.
The Smiths' marriage has always been a hot topic, especially given their openness about exploring alternative relationship dynamics. Over the years, both Will and Jada have dropped hints about their life partnership, emphasizing freedom and trust over traditional monogamy. On the surface, their approach seemed progressive, but critics have often questioned whether this freedom blurred the lines too much. Now, with the FBI digging into their connection to Diddy, those questions are resurfacing with a vengeance. Could this be a case of their open lifestyle crossing paths with Diddy's chaotic world? Or is there more to the story than meets the eye?
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
The FBI's investigation isn't just about wild parties, it's about unraveling what some are calling a web of exploitation and manipulation. Diddy's legal troubles have opened the door to an avalanche of accusations, with former associates coming forward to share stories of bizarre and, at times, troubling behavior. While most celebrities in Diddy's orbit have distanced themselves from the fallout, the Smiths' names keep popping up in connection to his infamous gatherings. And it's not just idle gossip. Reports suggest that when Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles were raided earlier this year, authorities uncovered evidence that could implicate several high-profile figures. While details remain under wraps, insiders claim that the Smiths have been mentioned more than once during the investigation.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but the shopping thing is
Yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Jada, as always, has remained unapologetically vocal about her life choices. From her relationship with Shakur to her entanglement with singer August Alsina, she's never shied away from sharing intimate details. But this latest scandal might be one story she can't control. If the whispers are true, Jada's past attendance at Diddy's so-called white parties and other exclusive events is now under scrutiny. And while attending a party isn't a crime, it's the nature of those gatherings that has raised eyebrows. Some sources suggest that these events weren't just about A-listers mingling, they were meticulously planned and, as reports allege, served as the backdrop for questionable activities. The FBI's interest in Jada, therefore, may not be limited to her connection to Diddy, but also to what she might know about what went on behind closed doors.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Say that again. Back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but the shopping thing is
Yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of.
Meanwhile, Will Smith's stance in all of this remains a mystery. Known for his carefully curated public image, Will has largely avoided controversy throughout his decades-long career. But with his name now linked to Diddy's legal troubles, that pristine image is under threat. Insiders claim Will is deeply conflicted. On one hand, he's reportedly furious at the idea of being dragged into Diddy's mess. On the other hand, his long-standing friendship with the music mogul makes it difficult for him to walk away. The result: a growing rift between Will and Jada as they reportedly clash over how to the mounting pressure. There's also the question of how their children, Jaden and Willow, are processing the situation. The Smith kids have always been unapologetically individualistic, often making headlines for their boundary-pushing views and lifestyles. But with their family now at the center of a major investigation, the public is wondering how they fit into this narrative. Could their parents' choices have inadvertently placed them under the FBI's microscope as well? While there's no evidence to suggest the kids were involved in any way, their association with Diddy through their parents could still make them targets of unwanted scrutiny.
Well, Jada Pinkett Smith drops a bombshell. Apparently, she and her husband, Will Smith, haven't been together for 7 years.
As the investigation unfolds, the Smith family's unconventional lifestyle is being dissected like never before. Critics are quick to point out that their approach to marriage, while progressive on the surface, may have left them vulnerable to the kind of chaos now surrounding them. Fans, however, remain divided. Some see the Smiths as victims of their association with Diddy, while others believe they willingly participated in a world that blurred ethical boundaries.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most.
One thing is clear: this scandal is far from over. With the FBI reportedly preparing to subpoena key witnesses and dig deeper into Diddy's network, the Smiths may find themselves with fewer allies and more questions to answer. And while Jada's rumored willingness to cooperate could help her in the short term, it's uncertain whether Will shares her strategy. The FBI, for its part, seems determined to leave no stone unturned. Their investigation has already unearthed shocking revelations about Diddy's inner circle, and sources claim they're only just getting started. For the Smiths, the pressure is mounting and their every move is being watched. As rumors of Jada's potential deal with investigators circulate, many are left wondering whether her decision will come at the cost of her marriage. Will she stand by Will, or will she choose self-preservation? And more importantly, can their marriage survive the storm that's brewing?
In regards to how do we present that to people, you know?
The drama surrounding Diddy's legal troubles and his connection to Hollywood's elite has opened a Pandora's box, and the Smiths are now right in the middle of it. As the FBI continues to connect the dots, the lines between friendship, loyalty, and accountability are becoming increasingly blurred. And with Jada and Will reportedly at odds over how to handle the situation, the cracks in their already fragile partnership are becoming impossible to ignore. What will the next chapter of this saga reveal? Will Jada's rumored cooperation with investigators lead to more revelations about Diddy and his circle? Or will Will's loyalty to his old friend drag the couple down even further? One thing's for sure: the Smith family is facing the fight of their lives, and the world is watching.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever.
The fallout from the FBI's investigation into Diddy's alleged network is sending shockwaves through Hollywood, and the Smiths aren't the only ones scrambling. As new evidence emerges, the once unshakable connections between some of the most powerful names in entertainment are beginning to unravel. And the rumors, they're coming in fast and furious with claims of secret deals, hidden tapes, and explosive insider testimonies that could bring down more than just Diddy. The question now is, who's next?
Did in fact occur, their argument is more than likely going to be that this activity was consensual, that this person was a willing participant, and not only that, but that these individuals assumed the risk of being present at those parties, of engaging and voluntarily engaging in this conduct and being in those spaces, consuming alcohol and things of that nature.
The FBI's latest findings have reportedly set off a chain reaction of panic among celebrities who were once regulars at Diddy's infamous gatherings. From the outside, these events looked like the ultimate A-list parties, lavish, star-studded, and dripping in exclusivity. But insiders are now painting a very different picture, one that's far darker and more complicated. According to sources close to the investigation, these gatherings weren't just about networking and champagne toasts. They were meticulously orchestrated, with every detail planned to create an atmosphere where the lines between indulgence and exploitation blurred.
Still pretty early in the proceedings. I think it's only been about a month or a month and a half since he's been arraigned and held in detention. And so the investigations are always going to be a continuous and ongoing process. I'm sure at this point there's been an exchange of discovery. And not only that, but I think there's been a gag order placed on the attorneys with information that they can and cannot share. But more importantly,
among the evidence seized during the March raids on Diddy's Miami and Los Angeles properties was a reported treasure trove of items that investigators are now combing through. From travel itineraries and hotel bookings to detailed guest lists and encrypted communications, these documents allegedly outline the who, what, when, and where of Diddy's private events. And here's the kicker: several high-profile names have reportedly surfaced in these records, sending shockwaves through Hollywood's elite. One of the most talked-about discoveries is the alleged existence of video recordings. Rumors suggest these tapes could expose not only the nature of what went on at these events, but also the involvement of some of the biggest names in showbiz. While no footage has been made public, a former associate of Diddy's recently claimed that these recordings were kept as leverage a way to ensure loyalty and silence from those who attended. If true, the implications are staggering. It's no wonder that celebrities who were once regulars at Diddy's parties are now distancing themselves as quickly as possible. Take Leonardo DiCaprio, for example. The Hollywood heavyweight has reportedly made it clear that he hasn't been in contact with Diddy for years, despite resurfaced photos showing him at one of the mogul's legendary white parties in the late 1990s. According to sources close to DiCaprio, he attended these events purely for the social scene and had no involvement in the activities now under scrutiny. But even so, the actor's name being mentioned in connection with Diddy is enough to make his team nervous.
Or you've seen a certain reality that's your norm, right? So then when other people see things and that's not their norm,
yes,
it's kind of like, oh, okay.
And DiCaprio isn't the only one. Bruce Willis, Owen Wilson, and even Diana Ross have all been linked to Diddy's parties in the past, thanks to resurfaced photos and interviews. While there's no evidence to suggest that any of these stars were involved in anything untoward, the mere association is enough to raise eyebrows. The same goes for Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, whose attendance at several of Diddy's events is now being scrutinized in light of the FBI's investigation.
Whether they stay together forever or not.
Right.
You know, it sounds like you're staying together
We're
forever.
staying together forever.
Perfect.
I
Okay.
tried.
But while some stars are quietly trying to distance themselves, others are reportedly in full-blown panic mode. According to sources, a handful of celebrities have already been subpoenaed to testify as part of the FBI's case against Diddy. These individuals are said to be cooperating out of fear that if they don't, they could find themselves implicated. The FBI, for its part, is reportedly using this fear to its advantage, pressuring witnesses to come forward with whatever information they have, no matter how damaging it might be to others.
We're monitoring another push to free Sean Diddy Combs tonight, with his legal team citing new evidence in an updated bail proposal. The music mogul agreeing to around-the-clock security and cutting out contact with basically anyone but his legal team to get out of jail ahead of his trial scheduled for May of next year for charges he allegedly coerced and abused women for years.
It's a strategy that seems to be working. Over the past few weeks, several former associates of Diddy's have come forward with new allegations, each more shocking than the last. Among them is a former bodyguard who claims that Diddy kept detailed records of everyone who attended his events, complete with notes on their behavior. If these records exist and are as comprehensive as alleged, they could provide investigators with a roadmap of Diddy's inner circle and their activities. And then there's the rumor of a mysterious black book that allegedly contains the names of celebrities who were regulars at Diddy's events. While the existence of this book has yet to be confirmed, its mere mention has sent Hollywood into a frenzy. If such a list were to be made public, it could have devastating consequences for those named, regardless of whether they were involved in any wrongdoing.
So I think the most important thing, even more important than the passport, is that Mr. Combs came to New York on September 5th. As soon as we realized that this indictment was going to be coming down in a matter of weeks, maybe months, but sometime soon, Mr. Combs got on a plane, left his home in Florida, flew to New York. I called the prosecutors myself. I said, Mr. Combs is in New York. Do you want to know where he is?
As the investigation intensifies, the pressure on Diddy's inner circle is mounting. And for those who were once close to him, the stakes couldn't be higher. With the FBI reportedly building a case not just against Diddy, but against his entire network, anyone who's ever been associated with the mogul is now at risk of being dragged into the scandal. This brings us back to the Smiths, who are reportedly grappling with the fallout in very different ways. While Jada is rumored to be considering cooperating with investigators, Will is said to be taking a more cautious approach. According to sources, the actor is deeply conflicted about how to handle the situation. On one hand, his loyalty to Diddy as an old friend makes it difficult for him to turn his back. On the other hand, the risk to his reputation and potentially his freedom might force his hand.
If you want to know where he is, I'll tell you where he is, but he wants to surrender. He's here to surrender. They didn't want him to surrender, because if he surrenders, they don't get to tell the judge that he's a flight risk and he's a danger. Because who, as a danger and a flight risk, would fly to New York and surrender? So they didn't want him to surrender.
So since September 5th, you had known, you expected it was likely he was going to formally face.
For Jada, the decision seems more straightforward. Known for her candor and willingness to confront difficult truths, she's reportedly weighing the benefits of cooperating with investigators against the potential backlash. But even if Jada does decide to come forward, it's unclear how much she knows or how much her testimony would actually help. As one insider put it, Jada's not stupid. She knows the risks, but she also knows that staying silent could be just as dangerous. Meanwhile, the FBI's tactics are raising eyebrows in their own right. According to reports, investigators are using everything from seized documents to anonymous tips to build their case. They're also said to be leveraging the fears of those under scrutiny, offering leniency in exchange for cooperation. It's a strategy that's as controversial as it is effective, and it's already resulted in several high-profile individuals coming forward with information. But for every witness who cooperates, there are others who are reportedly going to great lengths to protect themselves. Some are said to be hiring high-powered legal teams to fight subpoenas, while others are allegedly destroying evidence in a desperate bid to stay out of the FBI's crosshairs. And then there are those who are rumored to be turning on each other, offering up information about their peers in exchange for immunity. It's a chaotic and unpredictable situation, one that's left Hollywood on edge. For those who were once part of Diddy's inner circle, the fear is palpable. And for those who are merely associated with him by name or reputation, the anxiety is no less real.
So I really knew he was formally going to face charges on March 25th, the day of the searches, when Homeland Security searched his Los Angeles home, his Miami home, and his airplane. I knew that day by looking at the search warrants. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. This is not my first or 100th rodeo, that this was going to come as a matter of time.
And then there's the public, who are watching this drama unfold with equal parts fascination and disbelief. For years, Diddy was seen as one of the most powerful and influential figures in the entertainment industry, a mogul who could do no wrong. But now, with his empire under siege and his reputation in tatters, the narrative has shifted. And as more details emerge, it's becoming clear that this scandal is far bigger than anyone could have imagined. So what happens next? Will the FBI's investigation uncover the full scope of Diddy's alleged activities? Will more celebrities be implicated as new evidence comes to light? And most importantly, will the Smiths manage to weather the storm, or will their connection to Diddy prove to be their undoing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.